Hey guys, Austin here. This is my list for the game plan that I will be going over with my team. The first point, you'll see the strategies. My main focus is going to be moving the ball, running the offense around the three-point line. That's like the main offensive strategies, and then working in from there. Then defensively, I like to guard the three-point line and then force turnovers based on passes. Every player is going to be necessary to implement this game plan. So in that second bullet point, that was like my answer for the question. I don't really understand, but I need every position on the court, every player to be doing what they can. The scenarios, I don't really have plans for any specifics. I just like to train my players to be responsive to anything that they find. So there's no real individual situations that I have laid out. The things that I'm going to track, like benchmarks, I don't have that either. I just make sure that my players are doing their best. I like to be process-oriented instead of goal-oriented. I just make sure that they're taking the good shots instead of making the percentages. I don't want to track that. There's no real way to track effort, and that's the only thing that really matters to me. My fourth bullet point, the tactics being tracked. Again, I'd like to be able to track like what assists where or how effective, different things like that. What players shoot the best from what spots, who switches well, and things like that. Individual things that I can show the players and tell them where they can be better, because that's something that they might not be aware of. For 5, the responses to the scenarios and the situations. Like I said, I don't really make up scenarios like that I want to track before the game. Like going into a game, I don't say, okay, now remember guys, I'm going to be tracking how many times you box out, because that's something we need to work on. It's just something in practice that I want to be working on. And if in practice I don't see my team getting better at rebounding, that's not something that I'm going to be thinking too much about during the game, because I already know that we can't do it. So, again, once we get to that, final stage, I pretty much figure that if I haven't got my message through, then I just need to reevaluate instead of just continue tracking and showing them what they've been doing wrong or right before. And then there's a description of what's expected. Again, the benchmarks. I didn't have a list of scenarios. We aren't a goal-oriented team, so I don't really want my team to be focused on, like what they do in terms of like their percentage of scores or their assist to turnover ratio. I'd rather show them things like, look, you made the right pass, you took the right shot. You switched properly, and things like that are really hard to quantify. I can't say, okay, so look at this. You had 4 feet of space, so that was an adequate shot to take, versus having 1.5 feet of space, so that was an inadequate shot to take. That's just something that the players just kind of have to slowly learn for themselves, and that's something that I want to try to get better at myself, is teaching them how to develop their own personal game and their own personal responses. Again, this is my week 7 game plan. It's kind of bare, pretty thin, but I'm also a very non-technical coach when it comes to getting my players ready for games. So I hope this works, and I hope you guys do well with yours too.